What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $2,000 and you're guaranteed 30, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, I want to give you guys a very important warning about the markets. I think there's going to be a pullback coming very soon. When we start off with Tesla, the daily chart is looking weaker right here. We're getting a bearish looking bar on the daily. Despite the fact that we have earnings early next week, just know that there's going to still be some downside, at least approaching. I'm not sure how earnings is going to go for them. So we have to be very careful. Investors have very high expectations, but approaching earnings, we have this head and shoulders like pattern on Tesla. We're starting to lose the 410s, and this is still showing a little bit of weakness. Could be dipping to the lower 400s, so please be very careful. I am seeing weakness on Tesla stock. For others out there, we have SPY. SPY is showing a lot of weakness here. We got this big rejection on the 4-hour. On the daily time frame, please keep in mind that even Tesla has weakness, so does SPY. We have these gaps to fill. SPY has a gap to fill at 603, another gap at 597 that's unfilled, and another gap down to 594. I wouldn't be surprised if we see SPY get a big rejection, starts dipping even down to like the 590s. So I think as we approach FOMC next week, this is going to continue to fill a lot of these gaps. I think this is a rejection that's coming. There's a very good chance it's going to continue to fall. On the QQQ, we have a big gap to fill at 525. I think we're going for that. And then we also have our 20 EMA to be tested at 520. There's also a gap all the way down to about 508. I'm not sure if we're going to fill that yet, but I think this is going to be dipping very, very soon. On the IWM Russell 2000, we're also dipping here. We're looking for 226 as our support. There's also this big gap to fill at 219. If we end up losing 223, we're looking for that dip. So I see potential downside for the Russell. On ES, I'm seeing some downside potential. We have a gap to fill down here. We're going to be watching to see if 6100 holds or not. If not, we're looking for 60, 80, or even 60, 50 as our potential targets. On NQ, we did not hold 22,000. We were supposed to hold that to remain bullish. If we can't do that, I said we're going to be expecting a reversal. Lo and behold, there it is. So we're looking for this gap fill at 21,697, if not 21,569. On Bitcoin, we're very flat right now. We have 108,000 as resistance and 102,000 as our support. We're chopping around, but there's going to be a risk of us dipping lower if the whole market comes down. Nvidia is getting a rejection right here. This big red bar in the daily typically signifies more downside. 140 is coming. If that fails us, we're going to be returning back down to like 138 or below. So keep that in mind. Tesla is rejecting, guys. Unfortunately, it's showing some weakness, and the market's dragging this down, so it could be hitting the low 400s. 402 is going to be an interesting target than 400 flat. We'll see how it reacts to that. For Aapl, we could be retesting 220 again. It's trying to form a very strong base in the 221 area near our daily 200 EMA. So yes, it could dip a bit more, but it's at some super strong support. We have to lose 220 to remain more bearish. It might come down a bit more, but watch and see if that holds. Coin is rejecting on the daily, so I'm going to be looking for this gap fill back down to about 296 and eventually lower levels to start filling more of these imbalances. There's also a lot of gaps down here, so I do think coin is going to dip a little bit to about the 280s very soon. Amazon has lots of gaps on the daily. It's rejecting. We have to hold 233. Otherwise, 230 is coming to fill this gap down here. And if that fails us, we have another gap to fill at 226. So be careful. Meta has a nice looking cup and handle like structure. It's still bullish. We need to break 650 to remain bullish. If we can't do that, it's going to likely return back down to 634. So just be kind of careful with that. Microsoft is rejecting here. There's a giant gap to fill at 430. We'll have to see if we could hold above 438. If 438 fails us, I think we dip to fill that gap. So please be careful. I'm thinking it might dip here before it tries to bounce. So just be mindful of that. And then last but not least, we have Google. Google, of all things, did a relatively decent job at pushing and trying to hold up. We saw some buyers who were trying to defend it. If we could try to hold above 202, we remain bullish. If not, we're range bound between 200 and 202. Anyways, the VIX is showing some life. Although the VIX has dumped quite a bit, it loves to base between 13 and 14, at least historically. There's a strong support right here around the 14 area, so I think it might be getting a small bounce. So please keep that in mind. I think the market's getting ready for a move to the downside, and I think that this is going to drag Tesla lower. As I'm speaking, Tesla's now in the 407s, so as you could tell, it's falling slowly. I think it's going to continue to fall heading into earnings, and we'll see how earnings goes for it. But just keep in mind, guys, I have this warning, at least from a technical standpoint. I wish you all the best. I want to get this video out there as soon as possible. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. And I'll see you guys very soon in another update in just a couple of hours. Thanks for listening and peace out.